Good morning to you, our audience. Ted and Ed TV channel welcome each of you to our weekly Saturday broadcast where we give insightful views on economic, political, world, and environmental issues concerning how money connects those matters. Our hosts, Mr. Ted Harvey Sr. and Mr. Edward Bishop III, are now taking each of you into our world of money and its value, along with the evils that come from the greed of hoarding financial power. He that controls the gold controls the important decisions in this world.
Good morning, everyone.
Now I'll say good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Well, it's a beautiful Saturday morning here in Central Florida. Welcome to the Ted and Ed Money Connection TV program. We have an interesting, great show for you today. We got so many topics, it's crazy. Ed, how are you doing this morning?
Oh man, I'm doing great. I'm excited about us getting back online here. We have a new system out here set up to do our videos and stuff and everything for Saturday morning, and hopefully our people who are going to see these recordings and stuff are going to enjoy it.
Great. Well, one of the things that, there's so many things, but the 45. I want to start off with 45 because it's some crazy stuff going on with 45, man. I mean, wow. Like one of the things that, I really want to talk about this thing that's going on with the North Korea and all of confusion. One of the things that really has sort of taken my interest is Dennis Rodman is going to be at the meeting, man. Did you hear about that? I don't know if that's confirmed or not.
Well, I think that Dennis forced his way in. he just forced his way in.
For real.
Yeah, he did. I think when Bush got involved in that stuff and everything, he was in there. But when Obama came online, I guess Obama and them told you better stay out of this mess. They threatened him, so now Trump is there. So I guess he said, "Well, I'll bring Dennis over there so we can have us a clown show."
Yeah, it's definitely clown show now, man. Because but who knows, man? Who knows what's going to happen? I know that the Secretary of State, he's running around talking mess, and then you got the security guy that's going around doing all kind of craziness, talking about, we're going to set up something that's just like we did in, Iran or Iraq or wherever one of those places are. No, it was what was the name of that country that they killed the leader over there? I can't think of the name of the country, but they took over that country, killed the leader, and then want to take all his goods and services and gold and everything. But the one thing that I have realized just reading some articles is that they got military all over North Korea. I mean, boats, ships, everything in case anything go down. And I'm telling you, it's crazy. And I'm telling you that one of the things that you have to watch out for, this guy might start a war over there in North Korea because they got a lot of things that America can use. So we'll see.
Well, I think that old Kim Jong-un himself and everything is also afraid that he might be assassinated and everything at this juncture and stuff and everything. He doesn't put anything past the Trump administration to do something, drastic or whatever, or somebody else comes in and does something really drastic and everything. So you don't know. I think both sides and stuff are afraid that something bad is going to happen. So there's a lot of security going on there. So I'm pretty sure that when the president sits down there and stuff, they got so much security going on that it's unbelievable. every inch of ground is going to be covered. They probably got emergency jets that's going to be coming in there, and helicopters going to be flying in. They got these snipers and stuff sitting around trying to shoot some people if they don't. It's going to be so secure, man. It's going to be awesome.
And this is going to supposed to be happening when? Monday
evening and stuff, our time.
Wow. Well, do you think a possibility that peace is going to come out of this, or it's going to be a failure? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I don't know. I'm looking at Kim Jong-un and everything, and he's a joker in the deck. You don't know what he might do. He's that joker. Well, actually, both of my jokers. They are both jokers and stuff, and I don't know. I think he's hoping that something good comes about it and everything, so he can sit down there and brag about what the heck he has done. But he is actually not a very good negotiator at all. He has proven that he has no negotiation skill whatsoever. So, man, I don't know. Ted, we are walking on new territory. We're walking on uncharted territory every day. Every day. We're walking on uncharted territory. So I don't have any expectations of anything good coming out, and I don't have any expectations of bad stuff coming out. But I do have an expectation that whatever happens, that the old 45 are going to try to make it seem like he's the best thing that happens to our country, and he's the creme de la creme of negotiators.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that really has struck me is how they have really got into this healthcare plan, and now how they are working the Medicaid system. See, all of this stuff is done under the table, or I should say behind closed doors, or really not being talked about a lot. And I just saw a report that Kaiser Permanente had set up, which is a nonprofit health insurance company. And they were saying that in Arkansas, if in order for you to get Medicaid, you have to show proof that you can't work, or that you do have to have some type of job in order to get Medicaid. And a lot of these people are, disabled. Some of them are unable to work because they might have kids that's going to school. And then if they work, they can't, they won't have any kind of child care. And this is a big thing. And Arkansas have already implemented it. And some of the states are looking at it right now as far as that goes. And that's going to hurt a lot of people, people that are able to work. You got people that's taking care of those people that can't work because they're disabled. You got family members supporting their family, and they refuse or do not want to work because they got to take care of their elderly parents or some sick husband or wife or whatever. So that's a big thing that's going on right now. And all the states are going to be really actually, distributing this Medicaid that's out there. And they're already talking about that they're going to cut Social Security and they're going to cut Medicare. So, but they're not going to do that until after the election. So that's a big thing that's going on right now in this country. And a lot of people are not aware of all of these changes that's going to be happening. So I don't know. I don't know what we can do about it. I don't know what's going to happen. But I think people need to wake up and find out what's going on, and that's why, we have the Poor People's Campaign, because you got these working people that's doing this. They need subsidies because they're not making enough money to survive. to take care of their family. So it's heartless. It's just the cuts. And what they're doing is monetizing America on the taxpayer dollar. That's what they're doing.
Well, all this stuff started out, Ted, with that huge tax cut that they passed in December. And then they have to pay for that thing. And if they don't figure out some other kind of ways to pay for that tax cut and everything, we're going to be in terrible shape and stuff as far as what's going on. But, you know, the Republicans have been attacking healthcare for a long time, ever since 2009 when Obama first started trying to enact a new healthcare rule. And really, actually, they have taken the healthcare system and everything now since the Obama administration is gone and kind of wreaked havoc on it. And you're finding out and everything now that a lot of your healthcare providers, your doctors, your hospitals, the clinics and stuff and everything now, a lot of them don't even take the Affordable Care Act health plans and stuff that they have out there because there's so much red tape that they have thrown into the system that they're trying to actually destroy it and stuff from the outside. They're taking it and they're putting cancer and stuff all over the healthcare program, and they're hoping that people themselves and stuff eventually say we don't want this thing anymore, and just it automatically destroys itself. But it's going to be difficult for them to do that and stuff because there are so many people and stuff out there who are taking advantages and stuff of all these healthcare things that are going on, and the healthcare industry and stuff themselves. They want this thing to succeed because they've invested a lot of time, a lot of money and stuff into doing that, and really actually and stuff. The Republicans and stuff are cutting off their nose to spite their face because I'm pretty sure that come November, a lot of them and stuff who have been sitting up there in Congress and stuff are not going to be there anymore. So as they whittled away and stuff at the ones who were there, and stop all this mess that is going on. I know that if you have Democrats coming back in, that they're not going to be able to stop everything and stuff because the Trump administration controls the executive branch of government and stuff and everything, and they make rules and regulations and stuff for these programs they have out there, especially healthcare. So they can literally destroy something and everything in the executive part of the branch and stuff until he's gone. So that fighting stuff in 2018 and stuff, whether the voting and everything is not over with. We're going to have to wait until 2020 and get that man out of office before we really actually start going back in that right direction.
That's a long time.
I know it is.
And that man, he done already done so much damage already. It's just unbelievable how much damage he's done. You know, you look at the, what is it, GPA? You know, it's I mean, they have done so much damage. They have done, you know, just rolled back all kind of regulations with water. Just got a report on, they have this, they have a bunch of chemical companies that are out there that's just spreading all kind of stuff into the water. They have no more regulations for that. You know, water, clean water and clean air is the one thing that we have been enjoying. And now that's a big thing right now because they have rolled back so many of these regulations. So, you know, with this current, you know, person that's on the cabinet now, I mean, in my mind, you know, it's pretty much, it's going to take years to get this thing back in order. And I don't see a whole lot of Democrats voicing their thing, you know, which leads me to the voting problem, and which leads me to what do we do with these politicians? I mean, they're not, you know, they're not voicing themselves. You know, I hear a lot of people talking about, well, this is what we're going to do, and this Trump is Trump. But man, come on. They gotta get out there, man, and be bulldogs. And nobody's out there really doing a whole lot of stuff, you know, that's saying a lot of things. We already know about 45. You know, we know that he's about himself, but this is going to take effect on our children's children. You know, and I don't really, know. And the people, like they said, I heard one Republican the other day on TV say, "Hey, you can march all you want to, but the policies are the ones that's going to make all the changes." So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a sad situation and stuff, Ted, and you see that and stuff in the media. You know, you have the Poor People's Campaign still going on, but in actuality, they have drowned out their platform. They've drowned out the bully pulpit because, like you said, nobody is hearing anything that's coming from the Poor People's Campaign. Anything that happens, nobody hears about it unless you are making a conscious effort and stuff to follow and see what's going on. What you see on major television networks and stuff is just Trump 45 and the Republicans and what's going on. That's it. You don't see there are Democrats and stuff out there who are standing up and everything and stuff for it, but I guess there's a void and stuff there that they're going to have to overcome and stuff to get people to see what they're doing. All these new Democratic candidates and stuff there in California, you have no idea what their platform and stuff is because it's not out there. It's not being put forth and everything, so other people can hear it. Hopefully, the people in their districts and stuff are hearing it. I live here in the 6th district of Georgia, 6th congressional district, and last year there was a huge battle and stuff in here with the special election and stuff that happened after Tom Price had took over as the Health and Human Services Secretary, and the Democrats spent almost $50 million to try to win their seat back, and they lost it to the Republicans. This lady called Karen Handel. Well, we just had our primary and stuff here, and nobody's running against her.
And they spent 25
million. The Democrats spent all that money
for a few months. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. Nobody running against her now. And she's running unopposed. And a Democrat got their name on a ballot to run against her.
And they had a pretty good guy that was running against her.
They did. They did.
And now, he's not even running.
He's not even running.
I don't understand it. Well, one thing, tell me something about what's going on with where we're going to get these 25 Democratic congressional seats now. Because like you just said, they're not being really competitive like they should be as far as, regardless, if you lose, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
You still should have someone running. Where are we going to get the 25 seats from to take over this Congress?
Well, Ted, I think that they are hoping that these Democratic turnaround seats and everything will come in districts and stuff that Clinton and stuff won back in 2016. And they're hoping that whoever candidates and stuff come out of these districts and everything, that they are strong candidates, because nobody is really a strong person and stuff out there all the way from the top. You look at your Democratic National Committee and stuff and everything, they're not very strong. They are still fighting against each other. Tom Perez and stuff and everything is not really a strong leader. he can't run that organization, and he's outmatched. You have Nancy Pelosi and stuff and everything. She's afraid that she may, if they do win the House and stuff and everything, that she's going to have a battle for the Speaker of the House because there's so much turmoil and stuff there. But those 25 seats and stuff can come from, they're looking at about 7 or 8 of them to come out of California. I think they're looking at a few of them that's going to come out of Texas. I think they're looking at some of them that's going to come out of Pennsylvania and stuff and everything now, and they're looking at maybe having some more people coming out of Virginia and stuff, since they had that big turnaround election and stuff there in Virginia. So they're hoping that they'll come from there. So they got a lot of places and stuff where these Democrats can't come from, who can take over the Republicans and stuff, seats and everything. But those are the major ones: California, Texas, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. Maybe they can get maybe 1 or 2 there because they got their redistricting and stuff going on and stuff there, and they're hoping that that they can get maybe 1 or 2 out of North Carolina. So because of they gerrymandered that district there, and the courts has already disapproved their reapportionment of those districts and everything and stuff there. So, but they just finally got a ruling and stuff that they're not going to be able to do anything about that gerrymandering in North Carolina and stuff until their next election cycle. So it's a lot of stuff going on out there, Ted. I mean,
well, on the positive side, we got the woman explosion in politics. So,
oh man, yes.
I mean, they take it over. I mean, good for them, man, because I tell you, somebody needs to step up to the plate. And I think a lot of them are very progressive, very, I would call, some people don't like the term liberal, but, to me, liberal means, freedom, letting people be who they want to be and do what they want to do. And to me, that's what it's all about. And we know that there is a shortage compared to population compared to, if you compare the women and the men, it's about 50-50. Maybe the women, there's more women in this country than there is men.
Yeah.
So the point is that the representation needs to be equaled out. And you got a lot of women that are fair, but then we're seeing that there are a lot of women on the Republican side, man, they're just as vicious as the men. So I'm just thinking, man, that I'm hoping, I should say, that a lot of these women look at this, opportunity, because of all the, when people have power, we see what has happened. We have seen what has happened, this sex exploitation and that kind of thing. And women, are fed up. And so I'm happy for that, and I'm hoping that more women get into the fight, because that's where all the decisions are made. That's where your pocketbook, where your money, the taxpayer dollar goes, and you have a say so in where that money goes. And right now, hey, what's the saying? He who holds the goal makes the decision.
Makes the decisions, yeah.
Making all the decisions, man. I'm telling you, they're making all the decisions, and it's not for the people.
Yeah, he who holds the goal wins.
Right.
Well, I have another thing and stuff, Ted, because most of the women and stuff who are coming on, they're kind of defining themselves and stuff as progressives, and I think that the Democrats and stuff, if they want to be able to be successful and stuff and everything, and they start off after 2018 election and stuff and everything with, barreling straight ahead to try to do something positive and stuff there, they're going to have to define themselves. When you talk about progressives and stuff and everything, what do you mean?
Yeah, because there's so many parts to that, man.
Absolutely, man. How are they going to define themselves? And I'm looking at these people out there, and I think, like I said, one of the things they need to do is to define being a progressive. What are you talking about? Because the Republicans can sit there and paint you into a corner, but the best defense is a good offense. And if you got a good offense and stuff and everything, you can stop them from painting you into a corner and stuff because you define your own self.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what a lot of these, like you just said, Republicans, they sort of kind of bash you and talk about, oh, here's another liberal, that's, all you want to do is give money away into the, blah, blah, blah. And, and really, they're not strong on defense and all that kind of mess, and they're not strong on gun control, strong on gun rights and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So, what kind of America are we going to have, man? Are we having right now? If you got to walk around with guns and all of that mess, I don't know. And right now what's going on in the not only in the country, what's going on in the world, because we just had this G7 in Canada, and Trump is against everybody. At least everybody's against him. He's sitting around here and creating all this chaos with tariffs, and it's gonna cost a whole lot of people some jobs.
Well, Ted, I'm looking at this, and as you saw, the old boy, he kind of backed down on that tariff thing, which is really causing a lot of problems and stuff with him. That tariff thing has really caused him some headaches that he don't need. So I don't know. He's man, this is it's kind of hard to define, because this man is crazy. He has people and stuff who are against him, and I thought he wasn't going to even go to the G7, but he did, and that shows that at least he's maybe realizing that he committed a bad thing talking about the tariffs, and that he's alienating those allies and stuff out there, and some of the Republicans and stuff now, they are talking against him and stuff during this whole process, that hey, you were alienating people. Our mantra, and the Republican mantra, is free trade.
That's right. And free trade is a good thing to a certain point. I mean, and this is just my opinion, free trade, but then you want to have fair trade, because like right now, a lot of countries, I should say mostly, China, I mean, if you really look at it, man, for years and years, they've always, sent products over here, and then it's supposed to be, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And China never allowed a lot of goods and services to go into their country. They didn't buy a lot of goods and services. Now, I just read in Wall Street, they claim, and I don't know, I didn't read the whole article, but they were saying that they're going to do like 90 billion with additional spending with America, which means that, they could take over, maybe it could have been, a couple of years, 3 years or whatever. But the point is that, in order for this country to work, it has to be, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. That's what capitalism is, really. I mean, basically, hey, I got some goods and services over here, you got something over there, and then we just mostly. But if we're buying everything and they're not, and we can't sell anything, then where are you going to get your money? So I mean, that's one thing I do agree with 45. That's been going on for 50 years, 40 years, strong. So I would love to see a little more balance in trade, and people start buying a lot of the American goods as well. So, and then maybe we, as when I say we, I'm talking about African Americans, Black people, can start creating goods and services as well. Goods, and start selling overseas. And that's a market that we haven't tapped to a large degree. Now, there are some Black businesses that are doing that, over in Africa and certain other parts of the country. But we have, our big market, our big market was entertainment. And, that's what we've been, how we made our money. We go over there and perform and, and make a lot of money and what have you. But, in the long run, pretty soon, you got to keep on clowning. I shouldn't call it clowning, but you got to keep on performing, because of the fact is that, but if you got some goods that you're making and a business that's thriving, you're providing high employment when you're making something that people want. And that's something that really things have held us back from really making money, because you got a lot of people. If you got some product that you're selling and you're making it over here, that provides jobs. But if you are a multimillionaire and you made your money in entertainment, and now you're buying products over in China to sell to Americans, what good is that? Because you're not providing any jobs. And what you're doing is giving jobs to overseas. And I understand, that the labor is cheap, and what have you. But the point is that the purpose of going into business is what you're supposed to be doing is providing services and also helping people. And you're not helping your own if you're making your products overseas, like 45 did. His ties, his suits, his shirts,
his hats,
his labor, his labor, labor over here to work.
and then when he hires them, he doesn't pay them anything, or don't pay them at all.
That's right.
He knows not to pay you at all.
In other words, you ought to be glad you're in this country.
Yeah, he knows not to pay you, buddy. You go work for him. You better get your money up front. He's something else, man. He's that man is a pistol.
Well, one of the things, just to change the subject right quick, the one thing that that we need to talk about is this Supreme Court decision on this artist of the cake that denied these homosexuals, gay guys, to get, they wanted a special cake made, and they decided not to do it for them, which is, if anyone that they dislike, they can deny them service because of their religion. So the big thing now is, I heard some nurses discuss this, saying that what if you're in the hospital and a gay couple come up and they're sick, and they say, well, it's against my religion to service you. According to the nurses' ethic rules, is, that's against their rules. That's against their, that's immoral. If someone is sick, regardless of if they're gay, they're black, they're Asian, whatever, or Latino, they can say, hey, it's against my religion to serve you. And this country is supposed to be about equal rights. This country is supposed to be about justice and fairness. So even though a lot of people might not agree with that lifestyle, and that's their lifestyle, but we live in a free country. So if one person's freedom is denied, then that means that they can deny other people for other reasons. They can be religious reasons. It could be because of, I just don't want to serve you because of the color of your skin. We went through that 50, 60 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And you can see the gay rights folks and stuff are going through the same thing, because they have went through a renaissance, Ted, of fighting and stuff for their rights and stuff, to be able to consider themselves gay and stuff, and have all the rights that they need, and that fight continues on, just like it does for us and stuff as black folks and stuff. Our fight and stuff is there, and it continues on, and we just have to continue to fight, and they do too. Now, that Supreme Court decision and stuff that came down, it kind of made us or them and stuff look at it and stuff in a way and everything that the Supreme Court can't be the all say of what the heck goes on with people, that they can't gauge what people think and what they do. So the Republicans and the conservatives and stuff have enough judges and stuff there on the bench that they can decide what they want to do. So now the ball and stuff is back into the gay rights court, where they have to decide and stuff what they want to do with this. Okay, if someone denies you services and stuff because you're gay, then you have the right to deny them your money. And those gay rights folks, man, they got a lot of money out there, so they can use the power of their money and everything now to say, okay, yes, the Supreme Court said that you can do this and stuff now, but we're going to show you that because you want to do this and everything, you're going to suffer for it in your pocketbook.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that if that's their decision to do that. However, when you take it all the way to the Supreme Court, it almost gives a right for other people to discriminate. This right here was just one case. So now that right there sort of kind of gives them carte blanche to discriminate across the country. And so that makes it people are engaged now. They're saying that, okay, I can serve who I want to serve because of my religion or because of my artists. I'm an artist. What if a chef did the same thing? Say, I don't want to, because of my religion, you're Muslim, and I'm a Christian and I don't want to serve Muslims because it's against my religion or vice versa, So this is supposed to be a free country. That's all I'm saying. And so therefore, you should be able to overlook. You're in business. That means you're supposed to serve everybody and anybody. If a bum walked into your store and he got money, he should be able to be served.
Look, the point that I'm trying to make and stuff, Ted, here is look at the decision that you saw to come out of the Supreme Court, but also understand that there was an incident that happened in Philadelphia that brings to light and stuff what I'm trying to say, that because someone has a right to do what they want to do about their place and stuff and everything, if something bad and stuff happens, I'm talking about the Starbucks when these two guys, black guys, were arrested and everything. Okay, well, the outcry from the public was so strong that the CEO and stuff shut down his company for a day to have to talk about racial injustice and stuff and what they can do and stuff and everything to be able to treat their clients and their customers right. Now, Starbucks had the right to refuse them that service, but because they did what they did, it caused an outcry, which caused a problem and stuff in Starbucks' bottom line. I'm not coming to your place. I'm not going to spend my money there, and I'm not going to buy your coffee. There's other places that I can buy coffee at, so they don't want this to happen, so they're going to stop it themselves, and not just the Supreme Court governs them and tells them and stuff and puts out an edict and stuff and say you better do this. Almost like when we talking about in 1954 and stuff and everything, the Board of Education and stuff versus you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And even though the Supreme Court and stuff put down that edict and stuff and everything that everything should be equal and everything, it didn't. There were still parts of this country and stuff and everything that did not.
Still now, bro.
Yeah, still now. Yeah, absolutely. So in their case, it's the same thing, and in our case, it's the same thing. We have to determine and stuff and to force these different groups and stuff out there or different companies and stuff and everything to do what they need to do and stuff to help to defend our rights and the gay rights and whoever else out there has rights, because those gun owners have rights and stuff too. Yes, they have a right to carry a gun, but you have a right to just say you can't bring a gun into my place, because there's a lot of people out there now who are carrying guns, and oh man, my all of my electronics and stuff now, Ted, are going off and they're exploding and stuff and everything. We're in an electronic world here. But anyway, to get back to what I was talking about and stuff, we have that right and stuff to do it. Even though the Supreme Court and stuff put down that decision only goes to parts and stuff of the people who want to listen, because what they say about people and stuff who are criminals out there. The law is only for the people and stuff and everything who aren't criminals.
That's true. That's true. That's a true statement.
Yeah. So we have a problem and stuff there, and I guess we in this world and stuff that we're in and stuff, we just can't just if someone puts down a bad decision or whatever, or the court says one thing or whatever, we don't have a right to listen to it. The Trump does it. He ain't listening to them people. He's telling people he's above the law, and he started telling people, "I'm above the law. I'm above the law. You can't tell me what to do. I can pardon myself." But it's only believed and stuff by him. He just want to believe that. But the rest
it appears that him and his family, all of them are above the law. Seem like, because nobody's gone to jail yet.
Because that's how it looks right now. But
which reminds me, because
yeah,
I want to get into this, and I know you got a lot to say about this. Robert Mueller, and where does his investigation stand? Because, man, this dude, man, they done spent almost $18 million right now on this, and he has indicted so many people.
Yeah.
And this Manafort guy, I'm thinking that he seriously better fess up, because if he don't turn over what he knows of, if there's anything that's going on as far as this so-called collusion, and I don't see why they can't see that this haven't been collusion, because really it's not against the law to talk to people, but my goodness, man, as far as actually, when you look at all the times that they have connected with the Russians, and this guy, Bannon, who set up something overseas to penetrate Facebook, he was involved in that. If that's not collusion, I don't know what that is. If you're going to sit up there and have the Russians, the first week you in your office, and say that you fired Mulder the first few weeks, and you fired Comey, and because of the Russia deal. If that's not collusion, I don't know what it is. And now what he's talking about in G7, he said up there and brought up the fact that he want to bring Russia into the G7 and make it G8.
Bring them back, because they were kicked out.
Yeah, he was kicked out.
It's the appearance and stuff, Ted, of what's going on. Robert Mueller is probably the best person and stuff that they could have put into that job and stuff to bring forth a case and stuff against whoever has colluded and stuff and everything out there in our election, who have took over the election. Now we already know that the Russians have came there and they did what they did. Our election was bombarded and stuff by the Russians. Now, the point that he is trying to get to and everything is that who in this country helped them to collude against our election? Did Trump himself actually do this? Well, he's under a cover and stuff of a whole lot of layers and stuff of people and stuff around him that have surrounded him to the point and everything to where you can't penetrate that circle and stuff that's around him now. Now Mueller is hitting at it and stuff and everything, but he hasn't penetrated that bubble that is around Trump that is protecting him, because it looks like in the end, whatever's going on now, that his son will protect him and say, hey, it was my fault, I did it, and my dad didn't have anything to do with it. So they don't have a smoking gun yet. And what I mean by that smoking gun, that means something that directly puts him and stuff at it. So what Mueller is trying to do is to get that smoking gun and he's trying everything he can to get that smoking gun and stuff and point right toward it. And that path leads right there to Trump's doorstep. It leads right there into his bedroom. And that is the only way you're going to get that criminal and stuff, is to get into his bedroom and to his bed and stuff and everything, and get him and say that smoking gun leads directly to him. Because if you keep shooting guns around him and he's not penetrating them, you ain't getting that. You're not getting him. So that's what Mueller is doing out there. That's why it's taking him so long to get this investigation. And what Trump is trying to do and everything is trying to stop him at every point that he can to keep him from finding that smoking gun, or to get someone to actually say that, yes, Trump told me to do this. So he's thinking that maybe Manafort and everything has that power, or he knows someone and stuff out there that will have that smoking gun. Well, in actuality and stuff, Ted, Manafort's life and stuff is probably in jeopardy right now. He can't open his mouth and everything to Mueller because he's a dead man. If he does, they can't protect him. So if you watch him, man, on television, when they showing these pictures of him walking out of the courtroom, he walking real fast, getting into his car. He's scared to death. He's scared to death, man. He got guns pointed at him from every direction, from the Russian oligarchs and stuff over there who was involved in it. He got a gun pointed against him because Trump has people around him that want to protect him. And he also has Mueller and stuff who was sitting there and everything, using the power of the courts and everything to beat his butt down. So it is a mess, man, of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, man, these people will do almost anything. Well, they will do anything for money. When you think about it, when you look at Cohen, his so-called personal lawyer, what kind of crap? This guy, the stuff that he probably had to do for Trump is just ridiculous, and just for a few dollars, I mean, yeah, okay, you living good, you living large, and you're making more than the average person, you might be pulling in a couple million, 2 or 3 million or whatever, but is it really worth it being that immoral, to, set up deals for Trump, in fairest way, just unethical, immoral, all kinds of ways, just for money, and how do you live with yourself? How do you look at yourself in the mirror, every morning, and it's just, to me, it's baffling, and one of the things that I want to know is that we've always sort of kind of take pride in the judicial system. And the appointments that they're making now is just unbelievable. So what are we expecting during the August Senate recess? What's going on, man? Because I'm going to tell you, as a whole, Black folks have depended on the courts to do, to bring fairness and justice. And we know that it's been really, really bad for a lot of years, but it's going to get worse if, these, people don't go by the law, because, it's going to take a lot of mercy. So I don't know.
Well, our president, Obama, appointed a lot of judges himself too. We have to realize and stuff, Ted, that there are a lot of federal appointments out there, judgeships that are out there. And during the month of August and stuff, they're only going to be able to appoint so many of their people and stuff out there. So hopefully and stuff, the Democrats can keep up enough resistance and everything to keep those appointments and stuff to a minimum, because they are going to appoint some. I can guarantee you that they're going to appoint some. So how many will be able to be appointed and stuff and everything? That's our our dilemma and stuff, because there's probably what 10, 15, 20,000 of those judicial appointments and stuff that are out there. If you can keep them down to say 20 or 25 during the month of August, it's a victory.
Oh, 25.
Yeah, if you can keep them
That's
down.
a lot.
Yeah, but you consider if there's 10 or 15,000 judgeships and stuff out there and you only letting 25 through, that ain't bad. Because what happens and stuff and everything, they get appointed and they go to their little branches of government. Most of the time and stuff, those branches that they go to and stuff are in those places and stuff that conservatives and stuff want them there to be there in the first place. You talk about Oklahoma, Kansas, out in the West there, and in the far Midwest and stuff there and everything. That's where those judgeships and stuff are going to be at, and they don't have, and because they are there and stuff, they can't hurt you and stuff who are in the metropolitan area there of say Chicago or New York or Tampa or Miami or whatever. As long as they're not in your judicial district and stuff and everything, they're not going to matter to you, because their decisions and stuff are going to be made out there in the heartland and stuff, to where they got all the corn and soybeans and stuff at and all that. Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, okay, fine. They with their own people. So the point and stuff is that keep those judgeships and stuff down to the minimum and stuff, or whatever you can keep them down to during the month of August. And once the month of August and stuff pass, then you're not going to see very many appointments and stuff coming through and stuff. So hopefully 2018, you get them fools out of their office and stuff there, or do a lot of resistance and stuff there, or keep them at a place and stuff to where they can't do and make these appointments and stuff like they want to make. Then you got a victory and stuff going on.
Well, I totally agree to that. And
it's a chess game. It's a chess game.
Yeah.
It's a chess game.
Like one of the things that, we only got about maybe 3 to 4 minutes. And just a couple more things we want to touch on. And one is Trump against the world and where does our country stand? And the last thing that I want to talk about, what's the new thing this year? What's going on? Trump is against the world. That's just my opinion. When you think about it, when I say against the world, meaning that he's for himself. He's looking where he can get his next deal from. He can do favors for people that's in other countries, because nobody wants to do business with him in this country. They don't loan no money no more. They don't do anything for him. Now, maybe down the road, they probably would start doing something for him, because the fact that he's president now and that, and then you can scratch their back, you scratch my back. Maybe, you owe me big time because of that tax cut or whatever. But in these other countries, he can wheel and deal. He's already threatened to stop all kinds of things, as far as getting people funding for different things in the country around the world. We give financial aid to a lot of countries around the world. And a lot of these people, are against America. So he's threatening to take those funds out, and just don't send them any money. We've been having problems with the UN, our ambassador of UN. So I don't know. What you think?
Well, I think Trump's power only lies in the fact that he is the president and stuff and everything. And if you notice his family, his daughter, his son, his other sons and stuff that you don't hear very much about. You hear a lot about Donald Jr. You hear a lot about, Ivanka, of what they're doing out there. And they are, and Kirshner and stuff and everything, his son-in-law, they are out there trying to get as many deals made now that he is the president of this country as they can, because they know that once he loses that seat and the honor and stuff of being the president of the United States and stuff, their chance of being able to force deals and stuff and everything falls by the wayside. Because like you said, most people don't trust Donald Trump. He's asinine, and they already know that he's out for himself. And right now, you see that he pressuring the United Arab Company, UAB, country over there and took some money from him and forced them to finance his son-in-law's building there on Park Avenue there in New York, that monstrosity there. And they finally got the money out of them because Trump bulldozed them and stuff through political measures or whatever. And nobody's saying anything about it and stuff and everything now. They brought it up when it happened, but after it happened, nobody's saying anything about it. So hopefully somebody out there and everything is stacking up those bad D things and stuff that Trump and his folks are doing and everything, and just bringing it down upon them all at once. I don't know. It may be going on. I don't know. I can't say right now, but he is out there. He is ravishing. He is denying all of our allies and stuff and everything. He's creating an environment and stuff where people don't trust him. Even allies don't trust him anymore, is what he's saying. So he's operating all alone. And you saw that headline and stuff there. It says no longer America first, it's America alone. Because that's what it is. Look at the picture that they take. He is there in a vacuum by himself. All the people around him and stuff down there are ignoring him. All his allies, they have abandoned him. They haven't done it in too much of an overt manner, but they have. Like you mentioned about the UN and stuff. They then took the United States and everything and painted them into a little old corner all by herself. And she's sitting over there all by herself and she can't enact nothing. All she can do is throw up her hand and veto stuff down because she's still United States. But she's in a vacuum. She can't do anything because these countries, even third world countries and stuff now, are looking at United States and everything and saying, hey, we got these other folks against them. We're going to beat them down. So we are slowly moving ourselves into a place and stuff to where we are alone. We can't do anything and stuff at all. And Trump has taken us there. And there are people out there who see it. There are people who are business leaders and stuff out there who see it, what he's doing. So, like I said, and we spoke about it earlier, it's going to take some time and stuff to get this thing, the ship righted back up and get it on the right path and stuff again and everything. So we just have to suffer through all the damage and stuff that he's doing and everything, and be able to get our shit right again and stuff, and move him out of office and stuff, and get someone else in there who's going to be able to help us out and to change over our legislative branch of the government.
Well, here's the thing, though, Ed. Who's going to be our next president? Who's going to be the person that's going to right this ship? Who's the most knowledgeable person that can do some things like President Obama tried to work things out. If he would have got a lot more help, he would have accomplished a lot more. But you have any idea? Who's the new person? What's going on?
Who can be worse?
In other words, you don't care.
You can't get no worse than this. We have scraped the bottom of the barrel. We're down to the bottom. I can see the wood down at the bottom of the barrel. There's nothing else there. He is there scraping that bottom. You can't get no worse than him.
I think it's fascinating. Like, I'm thinking you're going to give me some real intellectual research and looking at all these politicians.
Anything is better than him.
So you trying to tell me there's no new person that's coming up and is going to straighten this whole thing out?
It don't matter, Ted. It can't get no worse. If he comes up a little bit, we're gonna be better off. Out of whomever, I don't care who it is. Hell, it can be another Republican. Shit. That's how bad he is.
Wow. Okay, man. All right. I thought you was gonna say something like, we need so or whatever. But with that being said, we done ran out of. I was trying to bring some hope to people. Whoever's listening to this, well, we can count on so and so, and blah blah blah. But I guess you're right. You're right. It don't matter.
It don't matter. So anyway, man. Oh man, this has been. I have enjoyed this one right here. So anyway, we're going to say goodbye to our audience now, and I hope we left them on a happy note. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.